It's the NFL on EA Sports, and tonight's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Steelers and the Seahawks coming up next.
We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at Lumen Field here in the Soto district of Seattle.
These folks love their football in Seattle. This was the scene a moment ago as the home squad came out of the tunnel, and it was just absolutely deafening in this building. They're set for football, so are we, as the Seahawks get set to match up with Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Brandon Gaudin with Charles Davis. And CD, our quarterback matchup here, it features two of the most decorated guys around. A couple of guys certainly with gold jackets in their future. Ben Roethlisberger of the Steelers, Russell Wilson of the Seahawks.
And you always feel like you're fortunate to watch games like this and have things unfold right here in real time, because we always want these types of matchups. And being able to watch guys who've been elite NFL quarterbacks for so long continue to do it at a high level, we're the lucky ones.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports.
Ray McLeod to return. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Steelers here ready to go to work for the first time. And the grizzled vet, Ben Roethlisberger, bringing him out now in his 18th season in the National Football League.
And it's not out of the question. It's not out of the realm at all to wonder if this might be the final season for Big Ben, either in a Steeler uniform or in the NFL period. He re-signed back in March saying, "It's my greatest honor to be a Pittsburgh Steeler and give my all for the organization." Had a big year in 2020, 33 touchdowns, just 10 interceptions, and led the Steelers to an 11-0 start. You have to think that he would love to end his career the way Peyton Manning and John Elway did, hoisting the Lombardi Trophy and heading off into the sunset.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now the former 4th-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. They'll get him to the ground at the 20, following a pickup of 4.
If you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Now it's Roethlisberger. He's going to look deep down the field. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
On 4th down, the rookie Presley Harvin on to punt for the Steelers.
He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. Taken from just outside the 30. Oh, he sheds himself free. And a great move again. Yeah, very good return that time. 18 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
And for the first time, we get a look at the veteran Russell Wilson as he gets set to lead yet again this Seattle Seahawks offense.
And similar to his nickname, Russell Wilson has a dangerous mix of skills, the ability to throw from the pocket and extend plays and throw on the run. Not to mention an absolute winner. Usually has his team in the playoffs competing for Super Bowl opportunities.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson, and he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now it's Carson. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Escaping the pressure right. And he's got this down to the 35. The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it they're picking up the first down.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 10. Here's Wilson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a 1st down.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. The sack by T.J. Watt, or as his mother Connie calls him, Trent Jordan Watt.
And the Watt family certainly knows how to get to the quarterback. His brother J.J., he led the NFL in that category twice in 2012 and 2015. And now TJ enters the record books. Led the league in sacks with 15 in 2020, but he plays so hard, he's always around the quarterback. 61 pressures last year, 16 more than the 2nd place finisher.
Well behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 18.
Another try after the 1st down sack. Wilson. Touchdown! It's complete.
Russell Wilson on target to DK Metcalf.
And the Seahawks have taken a 1st quarter lead. Both sides of the football in sync early. You force the 3 and out, and then you take it down, score points.
You know what that tells me? They sold their game plan really well. Head coach said, listen, we're just going to stop them on 3 and out. We're going to take the ball downfield and score. But he also told them how it was going to happen. They're going to run this. We're going to stop it. Then we're going to take the ball. They won't be able to keep up with us. And they got it done.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
A short kick taken at the 18. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Pittsburgh Steelers, as they come back out here, CD, it's been a hard team to figure out so far. You go back to week 1, they get the upset win over Buffalo and look really good. You called that game, but they're losers in week 2 to the Raiders, and then last week silenced by the Cincinnati Bengals 24-10 in a game where Pittsburgh never led. That loss drops them to the bottom of the AFC North as this team tries to stabilize from a rough couple of weeks.
And let's face it, they've talked about improving their ground game for the last 4 years, all right? And they had the worst ground game entering week 3 and will only stay there after 45 yards on the ground against Cincinnati. Every offensive line starter has been called for at least 1 penalty. The team had 10 total in this game. And for the first time, the Steelers have been outright in last place in the AFC North. That's the first time since Week 10 of 2013.
And the schedule, Charles, it's not very easy coming up. At Green Bay, and then they'll host Denver and Seattle. So the big play has him all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Now Roethlisberger. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Darrell Taylor, he's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
And this came from the edge, and those pass rushers, they have so many tricks of the trade to get around blockers. They have a lot of tools in their kit. This was pure speed and athleticism on this play, though, and they could barely get a glove on it before you got the quarterback on the ground.
On the delay, it's Balaj. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
He's going to let this go for the end zone. And did he get the feet down? No, they'll say he did not. It's incomplete. Just what Seattle was hoping for. The coverage holds, and now 4th down. And Boswell's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out to the field and currently trailing in the toughest division in football, the Seattle Seahawks 1-2. They're 4th in the NFC West after that Week 3 loss to the Vikings 30-17. The game, Charles, it started out great for Seattle. Scored all 17 of its points, on the first 3 drives, but a totally different offense took the field in the second half. Seattle didn't have a drive longer than 5 plays in the 3rd and 4th quarters. It leaves Seattle in a tough position early, fighting upward in a division also containing 3-0 LA and Arizona and 2-1 San Francisco.
And Brandon, in past years, we would have counted on Seattle to rely on their running game and their defense to go ahead and weather the storm. But the defense has struggled over the last couple of years, so they've got to win shootouts now. That's why the offensive issues they've had after fast starts have become the focus for them. They've got to find a way to sustain that through a game and make sure DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett touch it on the perimeter and Chris Carson gets activated in the running game.
Speaking of that division, they do have a couple of division games coming up at San Francisco Week 4, then hosting LA Thursday night Week 5. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now it's Wilson. That's complete to the tight end, Everett. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
Throwing again here, Wilson. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. First time that they call his number tonight, and it gets him a first down.
That was a route run, not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the short catch and flip the down marker back to one.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Alex Highsmith gets him for a loss of 10 yards from his linebacker spot.
An offensive line play and pass protection has been a problem in recent years for the Seahawks. And more importantly, for quarterback Russell Wilson. They allowed 48 sacks last year, the 5th most in the NFL. They vowed to improve, didn't get it done on that play.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Another try after the first down sack. Wilson. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
They were on the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. And they're able to convert on third with a solid gain of 23.
Now that's all about making something happen as a quarterback, because instead of forcing something on third down, how about him buying some time outside of the pocket, waiting for someone to come open, and when he did, he put it on him for a big play and a first down.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. Here's Wilson to throw. Dumps this one off to Chris Carson. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. They'll contain him to just 4. Second down. Wilson dancing to his left. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Joe Hayden, the veteran, with a pick. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
And the Steelers set to take the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board.
That's into a crowd and intercepted.
Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
The one thing you always like about Quandre Diggs is his ability to bring his quarterback build and skills to the safety position. Had a career-high 5 interceptions to lead the Seahawks in 2020, where he was a first-time Pro Bowler. I love the way he plays in the secondary.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Touchdown, Seahawks! DK Metcalf with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter.
And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
The extra point now coming from Myers. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. A nice tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
McLeod now on the return. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. The Steeler offense set to regain possession.
And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Darrell Taylor, his second sack of the night.
And the Steelers normally have a good offensive line protecting Big Ben. They allowed just 14 sacks all of last year, the lowest total in the NFL. But in this one, they've given up 2 sacks already.
Back quite a ways here, facing 2nd and 19.
Another try after the first down sack. Roethlisberger toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. They were looking for Johnson that time, but now it'll be 3rd down. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. This one into the hands of the running back, Balaj. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the first down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, got the safe completion on 3rd. The Steelers send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taking it about the 36. Powering his way forward. 47-yard punt, a return of 4. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
Seattle again getting ready to take over offensively.
And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. What a way to start a drive. An excellent run, a tone setter, and now, if you want to take a shot on 2nd down and go play action and make it look like the same exact play and throw it over the top, you can do so because you've established the run in a big way.
Able to get away. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
I think that's how this defense is going to need to play these tight ends. Again, get right up on them and stay physical. And that paid off on that play, helping force that incompletion.
From midfield now, here's Wilson.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
It's picked by the linebacker, T.J. Watt.
And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
On 2nd and inches, Roethlisberger. Short little throw to Ebron. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On the give, this is Harris. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Second and 11. Balaj. And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Just what Seattle was hoping for. The coverage holds, and now 4th down. Boswell's kick is good. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And we will get another look at Seattle's offense. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say that great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I was
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Out of the gun, here's Wilson, rolling to his left.
And there's the rookie from Western Michigan, Dwayne Eskridge.
And he's brought down after a very nice gain. After one, 14-6 our score on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here as they've got it with a 1st and 10. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
And this will go to Carson out wide.
It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll make it 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
On 2nd down, it's Carson. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
And Carson unable to make it to the yellow line as the defense bottles him up.
That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And that will extend their lead here to 17-6.
So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. A chance maybe here for them to get him more involved. They're down here on the scoreboard, and he's been very quiet.
And the silence has been deafening for his team. They don't need that at all. They need fireworks. They need explosive plays. They need him touching the football in any way possible. Maybe go to some jet sweeps. Anything to get him going.
Yeah, something to get. And they get to it with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down.
L.J. Collier. Credit him with his sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front seven defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Now Balazs. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you. This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Chris Carson trotting back out there. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. They run it with Carson. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. The tackle made by the linebacker, Joe Schobert.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down.
That's what I'm talking about. Sacks all day, baby.
And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave to make sure if he squirts free, you've got someone to tackle him.
Wilson and the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Now it's Wilson. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. T.J. Watt able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. So then 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon.
Ray McLeod deep for Pittsburgh.
Now a high kick, almost a pooch punt. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10.
Here again comes Juju Smith-Schuster and the Steelers.
Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the 2nd quarter. They're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on him. There's 2 sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you've got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football and has an impact on the game. Change formations, change where he lines up, put him in motion, anything possible to shake him free.
Maybe that greater impact comes here on this drive. They run it with Balaj, and he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4.
He's got exactly what you're looking for, the ability to not just diagnose a play and quickly, but to make a play as well. Nice job there tackling him for a loss.
The Steelers on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Roethlisberger. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
And that's how you pick up a 1st down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
Off the play fake, here's Roethlisberger. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down.
Darrell Taylor bringing the pressure yet again. That's his 3rd sack here tonight. But he continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure. And these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. They run the counter. It's Harris. And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Only 2 yards on the carry. That's going to set up a 3rd and long. 3rd and 15 to be exact. Now Roethlisberger. They'll set up the screen to Balaj. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. A gain of 9, not enough, and it's 4th down.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play, because if you can get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. This is taken at the 15. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and out will come the offense as they take over.
Now the ball now going back over the Seattle Seahawks offense.
They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Cam Hayward, always a force, got back there for the sack.
Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Another try after the first down sack. Wilson, he'll try and throw it deep to the other side of the field. He's got a man, complete. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson, 3 touchdown passes now. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further.
I think it's fair to say there's nothing that gets a crowd to its feet quite like a big play, and that was something special there. Boy, was he moving.
Well, in this league where coordinators worry so much about drawing up the right routes, blocking assignments, misdirections and stuff, they have these precise arrows and movements. Sometimes the best plays just come from the schoolyard where you look at your fastest guy and say, go long, go get it, big man.
Myers connects on the PAT, and the lead is up to 18 now. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
This taken in at the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense.
These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
And Deontay Johnson has seen his share of targets increase in his first 2 years in the league, and last year finished with 88 catches. Continuing to work on grabbing everything that comes his way. A nice catch there.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A draw play now, Balaj. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. They'll come up now on 2nd and a yard. Here's Roethlisberger to throw.
And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
The scoreboard tells a story for him, a little bit bleak, and while it's not quite desperation time yet, it's definitely getting close, but the defense reads the scoreboard as well. They're going to back up and make them really earn it.
Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete.
And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on 3rd down.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Now it's Roethlisberger. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Juju Smith-Schuster the target once again, but it'll be 2nd down.
Well, hey, partner, in Week 3 of the NFL, special teams was a big storyline. How about Justin Tucker? NFL record 66-yarders, time expired. The Ravens beat the Lions. And then the Lions' former kicker, Matt Prater, now with the Cardinals, he tried a 68-yarder at the end of the first half. It came up short. And how about Jamal Agnew?
And they get to him with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. L.J. Collier, his second sack of the night.
3 scores down, not even at halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. It's taken to the 26. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. Out comes Chris Carson in the Seattle offense. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
Able to shake him up, but in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down. Cameron Hayward in there to get him. That is the 6th time that they have sacked him tonight. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Another try after the first down sack. Wilson, that's going to be caught by Nick Ballore.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, but what a nice job improvising, finding other options, and completing the pass anyway.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Devin Bush in there to drop him, and that is the 7th time tonight that he has gone down. Now here's Michael Dixon standing right on his own 5-yard line. And now a high kick here as they'll try to cover this one. Now a fair catch signaled for and made right about the 43-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. You would have to think they're going to make it more of a priority to get him the football. You're losing here in the second quarter, and he's been really quiet.
I think all we have to do, and it's too bad we can't actually see the actual play sheet now from the coordinator, because he's looking down at that and saying, okay, do I put him in different spots? Do I try and isolate him? What routes do I run? You're exactly right. They've got to get the ball in his hands and get their offense kick-started.
He does have the 2 catches, but pretty quiet so far. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They go play action now. Roethlisberger. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, and now it's 3rd down. Now Roethlisberger to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. A Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Now a first down carry for Harris. They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. To throw here, Roethlisberger. And this is going to be incomplete. Just what Seattle was hoping for. The coverage holds, and now 4th down. And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good, but there is a flag down. He might get another shot at this. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. No gain on the play there. It'll be 2nd down. To throw again is Roethlisberger. And in for the Steelers, touchdown. Chase Claypool on a touchdown throw from Ben Roethlisberger. And the Steelers are able to close the gap just a bit.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And it is good. That cuts the lead now to 11, 24-13 our score. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is DJ Reed returning. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Tyler Lockett trotting onto the field, getting set for this next drive. They've got the lead. They haven't really had to utilize him all that much so far, but I guess if you're winning on the scoreboard, not too much to complain about.
Not at all, but you know those guys out wide, they want as many catches as they can possibly get. They may need him later on if things get a little tighter.
Yeah, so far 2 catches. We'll see what happens here as the game progresses. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Now a give right side. Carson. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming out.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Being chased out left. How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the first.
How many times do we hear that 3rd down may be the most important down in football, and there's no better example than what we just saw right there. Forced to scramble, knows where the first down marker is, dives for it, and gets it. What a big-time play, putting his body on the line to pick up a key first down.
And an anxious moment or 2 there, but they do get him down. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. Here's Carson. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. Joe Schobert, number 4 in the NFL in tackles last year, in to make the stop.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
2nd down at 5. This is Carson. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. To throw is Wilson. Steps away to his left. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into his windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
So we are at halftime here in downtown Seattle with the Seahawks out in front. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. We saw a strong first half out of quarterback Russell Wilson. First up, though, let's take a look at the next-gen stats from the first half for the Steelers. And they did have some success running the football in those first 2 quarters. And that might be something they continue to work on as they try to get back in this game. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, you get a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And whatever they've done, it's worked, as they have the lead through 2 quarters of play.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. Here's Reed. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Seahawk offense set to go to begin this third quarter. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting.
And shedding the tackle, and now some room. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
So, Charles, we are 3 weeks now into the regular season, and we're left with 5 unbeaten teams. Raiders and Broncos in the AFC. Over in the NFC, Panthers, Cards, and Rams, all at 3-0. Maybe not the 5 that we would have predicted when the season started, but of that group, who stands out to you?
Well, I'm willing to say absolutely all of them. All right, sounds like I'm sitting on the fence, but I'm going to tell you why. Because quarterbacking, always what you're looking at when a team gets off to a hot start. And quarterbacking's been a key for every one of those teams. But I think there's been an addition to each and every one of them. With the Raiders, it's been Derek Carr, playing at a high level, but how about how their defense is played? The Broncos, Teddy Bridgewater solidified that position. Their defense has been a constant as well. Von Miller back in his form. When you look at the Panthers, Sam Darnold, again, defense. But remember, they drafted for that 2 years ago when every draft pick was a defensive player. The Cardinals, oh yeah, Kyler Murray's coming into his own. How about the addition of Rondale Moore, the rookie receiver? And for the Rams, yeah, it's not just Matthew Stafford, but Aaron Donald and the rest of that defense really coming to play.
They go play action now. Wilson. Rush coming, and he's taken down. T.J. Watt in there to get him yet again. That is his 3rd sack tonight. They can't figure him out.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Jason Myers for the Seahawks field goal. A 58-yard attempt.
And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away.
McLeod now on the return. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19.
Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2.
And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
Meanwhile, the throw here is complete. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. They'll run here with Balaj. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger.
And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by DJ Reed. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line.
Certainly not his best throw that time, and not a good time to make it, Charles, when they were a nickel with 5 defensive backs on the field.
And that's exactly why you have those 5 DBs out there. You want extra speed on the field, guys who have ball skills and understand what the passing game can do, and gives them a chance to react and make a play on the football, and they take one of those away.
After the interception, here's Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Cameron Sutton. And he will bring this all the way back out to midfield.
Well, this has been a bit of a tough game to figure out when it comes to him throwing the football. He's got the 3 touchdown passes, but now, Charles, this is a 3rd interception.
And those aren't really numbers that you'd like to see balance out. In a normal ledger sheet, if you can balance everything, you feel good about your day. But as a quarterback, you need your ratio to be more like 3 touchdown passes to 1 interception.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line.
From the gun, he'll hand this off.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
If these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
The opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Roethlisberger will throw. Complete. It's Johnson. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. That'll put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a first down.
Well, they obviously red man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him think.
What do you mean by that, Burke?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
They'll run on first down. It's Harris, and they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Now it's Roethlisberger. This one into the hands of the running back, Balaj. And he gets it down to the 32.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger game.
He's got his tight end Freiermuth right side. And he will have a Steelers first down as this defense unable to hold. It's a 7-yard gain there on 3rd and 2.
Gotta say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Play action. Now Roethlisberger. Over the middle. Hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down.
In his 5th year in Pittsburgh, a good bounce back last year for Juju with 97 catches. He wants to continue to make grabs like that and get upfield.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Again, it's Roethlisberger. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21.
Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number, it's just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle.
And they'll run on the inside handoff.
And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. On 3rd and goal, Roethlisberger. That is caught at the 7. Touchdown! Kalen Balaj. A 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Steelers have now made this a 1-score game. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Extra point now by Boswell. And that'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Here's Reed returning. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And here comes the Steelers defense making their way onto the field. And the interception the last time, their third takeaway of the game, Charles.
They're just flocking to the football so well. And not only are they doing that, they're making big-time plays and taking it away from them. Big hits, big plays. They're looking very good in this ball game.
You said flocking, flying to the football. Coaches always use that, don't they?
They really do. It goes back to the old, when they click off the frame at the end of a play, they want to see all 11 defensive guys in that picture.
They'll contain him to just 4. Second down. Here's Wilson to throw. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Wilson after the play fake to Carson. That's going to be complete to his tight end, Everett. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. A gain of 18 and a new set of downs.
Normally on third down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
Off the play fake, here's Wilson. They'll roll him out right. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
Man coverage on the left side, so I really like the design of this play because they opened up the field and brought their tight end the other way on a crossing route. That's a lot of ground to cover if you're a defender. I've been there before, unable to stay with his man there.
From the red zone now, here's Wilson on first down. Buying time to his left. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up for the first and goal.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. They go play action with Wilson. Out to his left. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Russell Wilson. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead.
Well, I'd have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive because it was his arm that got his team down to that point, but his legs that finished the deal. Give him credit for making it happen.
Now Myers for the extra point. And the lead is up to 14. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it was Russell Wilson finishing things off with a touchdown run. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. It is fielded right at the goal line.
And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. And now out come the Steelers. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2 minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 18. They'll start the drive with Harris. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, this is the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays.
And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
On 3rd down, here's Harris. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly blocked down. But a nice little gain. A pretty good effort there, 9 yards, but not enough. We'll likely see the punt team now on 4th down. And they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
The Steelers send out their punter now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. Call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really looked clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
Oh, he didn't spike it. He faked it. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And thee coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Now a passage taken in by Smith-Schuster. He's at the 40. And he is down deep into Seattle territory. Well, like so many wide receivers, he is a threat with the ball in his hands, and he's able to do his damage here after the catch.
Yeah, and this is what we mean when we talk about flipping the field, having your offense look at going a long way to a short way after he makes a play. His ability to do that, evident. Able to make the catch there, keep his momentum going, and just continue downfield.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the catch on the next-gen stats.
So the field flips here as they'll go to work at the 20 now on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Darrell Taylor make that now 4 sacks for him in tonight's ball game.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle.
From the gun, they'll try to run it.
And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. And Boswell's kick is good. And that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. So his 3rd field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s and probably even 8s. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear if they want to close this gap.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
Here's Reed. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter.
They go back to Carson here on 2nd.
And maybe Shane's in the steel curtain here as the Steeler defense drops him behind the line again. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. And the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
They don't want it, boys.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble.
Following the fumble recovery, it's Wilson. Short throw to Disley. That catch good for only a couple. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Second down and 8.
Now it's Wilson. Flush to his right. To the right side and complete to Metcalf.
Wilson to Metcalf that time. First down, Seattle.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on first and second downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down.
And this will go to Carson out wide.
5 yards on the pickup, and it'll bring up a second down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
2nd and 5.
Wilson. Flushed out right. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a first down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing is Wilson. Forced out to his left. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down.
And that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down. Now a throw downfield is taken in by his running back. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 15-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon.
And the Seahawks have put this one to bed here in the 4th quarter.
And that was a beautiful ball right there as he waited for his tight end to come uncovered in the end zone to give him points for patience as well. Delivered it right where it needed to be for 6 points.
The extra point now coming from Myers. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that drives 7 plays in length. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
A short kick taken at the 18. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position.
And they get to him with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Carlos Dunlap. Give him the credit for the sack and a loss of 14 yards. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. The throw over the middle, taken in.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. They'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A gain of 22.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Now Roethlisberger. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver that time. But it's going to be 2nd down. Roethlisberger. Back to Smith-Schuster. This time complete. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. It's a 7-yard gain there that's good enough to move the chains.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a 1st down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Ben to throw again. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. That catch good for only a couple. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making...
And it's out. He put it on the carpet, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. He gives it off to Carson. And he'll be taken down at the 18. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
So 4th quarter, a nice run there to start this drive. Charles, what do you think the split will be here between run and pass?
Well, partner, I think it'll lean towards the run, but this is also...
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. T.J. Watt make that now 4 sacks for him in tonight's ball game. Wilson and the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Throw right side is into the hands of his tight end, Everett. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. Pete Carroll rolled the dice, but it didn't work out. And now, goodness, possession's going to go over right at the 10-yard line.
Here again comes Juju Smith-Schuster and the Steelers.
And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down in the backfield.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Here's Roethlisberger. Ebron caught left side. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. Tell you what, he did not have much time there to get in the field before he was ducking and covering.
Did it appear to you, as it did to me, that the defensive front won their play really quickly, meaning the guys in front of them had almost no chance to block them? They were on him in a hurry.
A field goal does you no good, so they're going to stay out there and go for it on 4th. Here we go. It's Roethlisberger on 4th down. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs.
Well, I guess an interception at this point on 4th down is just as bad as an incomplete pass. Either way, the ball goes over to the other side.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in this late in the game, and there's not a whole lot he can do there, and he winds up giving the ball away.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 15. After the interception, here's Wilson. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7.
Alex Highsmith
Able to drop in that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
That time, Charles, great job keeping him in the pocket and not letting him escape.
And Brandon, I think this was a great example of the front and the back working together, meaning the back covering, no place to go with the football, and the front, terrific job on the edge so he couldn't escape outside, and then of course the inside pressure kept him hemmed in as well.
A 1st down there on a pickup of 25.
And Gerald Everett makes a good catch there for a 1st down, and he was signed away from the Seattle Seahawks division rivals, the Rams, after 4 years in L.A. backing up Tyler Higbee. He's excited about his opportunity in the Pacific Northwest. Last year, 41 catches, a career high.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Wilson. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. T.J. Watt in there to get him again. That is sack number 6, one off the NFL record of 7.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Wilson. It's complete to Lockett. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the...
Mike Tomlin has reached for that red challenge flag, and he'll throw it out there. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call.
After review of the play, ruling on the field.
So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass.
And Pittsburgh with 6 defensive backs in the game here on 3rd down. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick.
You would think that he had baseball in his past, the way he patrols center field and goes and gets the footballs he just did there. An all-pro for the Steelers each of the last 2 years. His first 2 years with the franchise, he led them with 4 interceptions in 2020.
Getting set to go again, Ben Roethlisberger marches onto the field. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one, but let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards, and it'll be second and very short. Roethlisberger will throw. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not.
That play was hard to see. One play goes wrong, and all of a sudden it's third and very long when they had been in second and inches.
Yeah, I know you like the idea of taking a shot on second and inches, but you can't take a sack for that big of a loss.
That's the one thing you cannot do. They gave it up, and now they're way behind the chains. Good luck with this next play call.
So the sack, and now a third and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. Now Roethlisberger to throw. Ebron with it over the middle. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Roethlisberger. Here's Johnson with a reception. And in for the Steelers touchdown. Deontay Johnson. 29 yards. And the Steelers have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you'd kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Boswell for the extra point. And that one makes this an 11-point deficit now. So that drive, 4 plays. And it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Two scores down, 2 timeouts at their disposal. This is a critical onside kick. And the Seahawks, looks like they've recovered. They have. Past midfield, look out. Fourth quarter, it felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
In today's NFL, we're accustomed to the tight end getting downfield and creating plays and wreaking a little havoc in the secondary. Not on this one, though. They diagnosed that one really well.
Tried the dump off, lost yardage. Carson, the first down and more. And he's going to get it down to the 14-yard line. That'll pick up the first down for Seattle on a gain of 18. Great time there to come up with his longest run of the night. We just saw it.
Leads to a lot of satisfaction because if they're able to hang on and win this game, you know what else will happen in the locker room after this?
What's that? Head
coach will step up and go, great job, guys. Because of that, come in a little bit later tomorrow.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off. The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. Devin Bush, the linebacker, was the one there in pass coverage. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. They'll toss it out to Carson. And he'll take this one down near the 15. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
And Myers able to knock it through, and that will get the lead up to 14. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the fourth.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still 8 up time, got points, so while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Oh, I think the Seahawks got it. They did. It's Seattle football. Well, there you go. Just your everyday leading big, and you onside kick it with a lead. If they got it, I mean, it worked, but interesting call.
I think because they have such a margin, they feel a little bit bolder about what they're doing. And it's not only just to try and increase their lead, but that's their way of saying we're in full control.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put under pressure. They got him again. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. They go play action with Wilson. They'll find Everett there, complete. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Now Wilson. He'll find his man. That's Freddie Swain. But they're going to wrap him up as he'll go down well short of a first. Pete Carroll rolled the dice, but it didn't work out. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. So Ben Roethlisberger and the offense down by 2 touchdowns. 1:40 remaining. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on first down. Here's Ben. And the screen unsuccessfully dropped it.
Let's face it, this defense has had its share of struggles all game long, and they know that they can put it all behind them if they defend well here in the 2-minute drill. Excellent coverage right there to force the incompletion.
Now left side on the swing pass. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Now Roethlisberger. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, you get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
Extra point now by Boswell. And that'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. A little less than 90 seconds to go. This will be an onside kick. And the Seahawks, looks like they've recovered. They have.
That's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie. They'll start out here with the option left. Now the Steelers going to use their third and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Wilson wants to throw it. Slot. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Chris Wormley, his second sack of the night.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
So here we go, Charles, third down. Any chance you're throwing?
I don't think so. I think you got to keep the clock rolling here.
That's going to be complete to his tight end, Everett. And he makes it all the way down to the 13-yard line. A big gain there, and that should certainly be enough to put this one in the win column. Big plays back and forth just continue. Both offenses excelling.
And I hear the excitement in your voice while you're calling this game. This hurts my soul as a defensive player, watching these teams go up and down the field and put points on the board.
Do me a favor the rest of the way. Sit back, relax, and just appreciate the offensive dominance that's going on out here.
I'll give it a shot.
Eluding the pressure right. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds right at the 3. Now the Seahawks forced to use their third and final timeout. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. Myers' kick is good. And that will push the lead up to double digits now at 10. So barring something extraordinary here in the closing stages, that field goal should just about put this one on ice.
Yeah, we've got to find 2 scores. So, we're not going to exactly move it over there yet. It can be done, but boy, it's going to be a little bit of a stretch for them, isn't it?
Yeah, they would have to move incredibly quick and have some luck, too. A short kick taken at the 18. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have a little bit of time left here, but this one not going to go their way.
And this is where, in this situation for me, you just go ahead and run out the clock, shake hands, congratulations, and move on. Because now, you're not going to make up for what's happened during the game in this last sequence.
We'll see what they do here in this last sequence. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. One last shot for Roethlisberger. And this is dropped and incomplete. Well, there's a metaphor for how this one is gone. As time has run out on this ball game. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.